here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. Hello. How you doing? How you doing? Hey? Good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, bang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. How you doing? How you doing? Hey? Good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, bang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy.
G'day everyone, how are we doing? Welcome to the show. It's been a hot week. When I say hot, I mean busy, but not hot as in weather. It's been freezing in Sydney. So we've got some winds and those early winter chills are coming. Let's put our apron on, say hello to a few people, get stuck into it again. How are we going, Terry? Be Bumstead with the 32 months. Thank you, Mark. Welcome on in. Who else is here? Terry's here. Be Bumstead is here. Dana is here. Mav is here. Excellent. Leslie's here. They're all here. All the usual ferals. Tom is even in here. Hi and bye, Leslie. Okay, right, let's get into it. Let everybody dripple in and drizzle out. Let's put our gowns. We're going to take a recap. We carved the neck the other day. We're going to finish carving that. Maybe do some radiusing today. I've got a soccer game on later. Today is a public holiday. It's Monday here in Sydney. In Australia, it's a public holiday. And so I've got other things planned, catch-up games. Orby, what's going on? Marky Mark and Orby are both in the house. And Tommy's here as well. Good to see you guys. Welcome on in. Okay, let me put this apron on. Let's get our look at what we've got. There's the body. Okay, we've got to continue working on that guy soon. We've got our neck here. Okay, we've got the carve done now. It's almost there. We need some fine sanding now to get those edges out of there and smoothed over. Get some tool marks out. We're going to do a little bit of sanding. And then we're going to start looking at radiusing this fretboard and getting to see what that looks like radiused. So let's get into that whilst we're at it. First things first, move this camera. I might just bring it down if I can. It might be easier. This will give Terry the irrits. She always gets vertigo and I trigger it every time. Put that there like that. There we go. You can see what I'm doing now. Let's set this guy up on the stand. Hopefully she'll stand up and it won't fall over. Bear with me. There we go. Camera's going crazy. There we go. Right. I'm going to pop that up a little bit higher. There we go. We can actually see some stuff now. Terry, I hope you're not too dizzy. Alrighty. Here we are. Let's check the shape. We'll put this guy away, our favourite tool of choice. We're going to grab this neck, we're going to pop him up here. We're going to check some C shapes and see what we look like. Let's clamp that down, Terry. What do we need here, Terry? A clamp of some sort? How many clamps, Terry? All of them? Some of them? Let's keep that guy down. Grab another one. One is never enough. Isn't there a song called One Is Never Enough? Probably. All right. Nice and firm. Gatto's in the house. Nico, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's check the shape for this guy. It's a very nice C. A very nice C shape you can see there. Can you see the C? Yes, indeed. We've got our C. Lin in the house. Aloha. How's it going? In the middle here. Not bad. Down the end here. Not bad. We're almost there, guys and girls. What we need to do now is some sanding here and some filing of these rough spots here. So let me grab a file. Nice little half round. Get this half round down here. We'll grab some paper. Some 240. going to smooth this guy out. First things first, I want to work some of these big scratches out of here. Mainly teeth marks. Of course, this being a file is also adding some teeth marks, but we're going to sand those out, just getting the rough teeth out of there, having a look at what that looks like. We've got some bumps down here. Smooth out those big chunky teeth marks with some finer scratches, and then we'll sand those right away. Once we get those big scratches out, we're going to sand that flat and smooth, and then we're going to check the colour of this with a bit of spirit on there. I want to see what that grain looks like under all this carving and filing. What the spirits also show is other major scratches and what have you. Before we do that, we're going to rough this guy up. Rough it up, just like a barroom fight. A barroom brawl. We're going to rough it up. Rough the place up. Too bad. Let's get some 240 on there. Grab a little fine roll, this little guy here, and just get into those corners and smooth those curves. So. Transition lines, very important to get them nice and smooth. Maui Lynn with a resub. Thank you very much, Lynn. You're awesome. And Big Bumpstead with the resub earlier on. You guys are on fire. Terry's back. What did you do? Refresh. Be right back. Diamond Dog. Build a mini bike. Excellent. Keep going. So far, so good. Terry, that's what we like to hear. There's one big scratch here from the scraper, and I need to get that out, and I will. Just a matter of being patient. Slowly working our way. Trying to give you a bit more of a view. How's that? That's a bit better, a bit closer. Get these scratches out of here. Just enough so I can disseminate what's major and what's not, and in terms of just getting some colour on there and seeing where the big tooth marks are, and continue to work on that later before we fine finish. This is just to get the shape right. Once I get the shape right, I know I haven't ruined the neck. I will then start doing things like radiusing this thing, which is what we're going to do today. Okay, that's a little bit of roughness. Let's get some smoother paper on there. And I'm going to do a lot more work on this off camera. What I want to check is now the straightness of this and see if there's any bumps that we need to remove. Bumps. Grab a straight edge. Pop him along there. And check the daylight under that guy. A little high spot right here. Let me grab a pencil. couple of those little tiny high bumps out of the middle. Check the shape, and then we're going to radius the other side. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a bump here, just a tiny bump. Oops. I'm knocking Terry over now. Seeplies with the resub. How you doing? He's looking up your old address. Absolutely, man. Hoodie's in the house too. How you doing, guys and girls? Thank you for the resub. 37 months, man. Happy 3 years. That's 3 years for Maui Lin as well. That's incredible. Thank you for your support. We've carved this neck, and we're just checking out some of the finer details of the shape. We've got a bump here. Here, and the rest is fine. Just going to scrape that lightly. Just in that area there. Check that again. Just here. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for daylight under this edge. That's perfect. That's good. That's straight. Let's get a check of that shape. Check of the first fret. Okay, there's our C. Check at this, about the seventh. Still a nice C. Check up here on the 12th. Still a nice C. Got a nice C shape all the way through. A little bit flatter here, not too much though, it's quite curved. A little bit of a baseball bat, but we are going to shave that down. So we're going to now turn that over. First I'm going to check the colour on this. Let me get some spirits. I want to see what those markings look like. Also what it will do is highlight some scratches that I can't see. I know there's a big fat scratch just here. I'm going to have to work a bit on that, but that's going to be done after the string. What's happening, Hoodie? Are you well? What's going down? How have you been? Give that a wipe down. A, to get the dust off. B, to just check the colour of that neck. Let's see if we can see that. Can you guys see that? Ooh, that's a nice looking neck. A little bit of flame in there. That's nice, not too much. And you can see the transition lines on the heel where we stuck another piece of opposing grain just to give it a little bit of character. And we've got a big scratch here, as I thought, which we'll get out, but the rest of it looks pretty good. Take a look at that on the camera. Got to flip that over anyway. Okay, so there's the colour. You can see that grain. Okay. So it looks bent because of the camera, the fisheye effect, but yeah, that's the colour of that guy. I'll pop this guy up here. We're going to do some radiusing now. Radii. Here, radius down this way. I'll move this guy around a little bit more, moving the camera just a little bit closer. Getting there. Actually, I'll pop it in here. There we go. Some funny fisheye effect there. Rant! Who wants a rant? You're perfect. Excellent, mate. Willie won't go. What's happening? Good to see you. Welcome on in. Where is that man of yours? What's he up to? Is he hanging out of a tree? Is he losing his change behind the couch? Probably all of the above. Alrighty. Let's get organised, as Terry would say. Let's get organised. All right, we'll grab our, what I need here. One more clamp. I'm just clamping this guy up properly so we get a bit of a lack of movement. That's pretty solid as it gets. That one's done. Okay. And we'll start the radius process. We'll get our 12-inch radius block. Get some thickish paper. How thick do we need it, Terry? 80 grit? Probably. What's this one? 120. That's probably a good one. We're going to start with 80. I'm going to really rip some of that off there. Let's get some 80. There's 180 here. What do we got here? 400. 120. 240 and 80. All right. Snip some of this stuff. We go 80, 120, 240 should be enough to get that at least the shape right. Let's cut this up. A little bit of overhang on either side. And let's begin. This is the part that I don't enjoy the most. If there's parts I don't enjoy, this is the part I don't enjoy the most. Clamps everywhere. Okie dokie, let's go. Can you guys see that? You can't see that. I'm going to grab the saw and just deepen those little fret marks a little bit more, just to make sure I've got enough there and they don't fade completely away. Give me a second. Like so. Very time-consuming fretboards. Very time. Of course, one of the most important parts, if not the most important part of a guitar, is its neck and its fretboard. We've got to get the frets right. We've got to get the scale length right. We've got to get the shape right. It's got to feel good to play in the hand. It's got to stay in tune. All those things. Realise that a lot of these frets aren't too deep, so they were going to fade away pretty quickly. Just give that a little bit of a touch up so I don't lose them completely. Just following the grooves that were there before, the slots, and just deepening them a little bit. 2 more. Okay, let's mark this as well with some ink, with some pencil, so I can see when I hit the middle of this fretboard. It's going to obviously wear away at the sides first, and then eventually work to the middle as we get that shape. Once that lead's gone, we've got the right shape. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Okay. We work on both sides, so there's no what I call pressure bias. We don't want pressure bias. We want to keep our grip consistent, but also flip it to get equal results on both sides. It's an old case of if you keep going the same way, eventually you'll get some bias and you might have an uneven carve or an uneven radius. Let me step on this block here. Here we've come in about ½ an inch on each side. We've got about 1 inch to go. And then we'll hit it with the finer courses. Wounded Monk. I build guitars too, just a hobby for me, but cool to see someone streaming the process. Excellent. How are you? Welcome on in. I'm glad you joined us. Yeah, I sort of do it for a hobby too. I sell a couple here and there, but I'm not earning a living out of it, put it that way. But it's a lot of fun. The important thing is just to keep even pressure on the block and run your 2 bottom fingers along the edge of the neck or the undercarriage and keep them there so that it stops this twisting. So we're just using our arms. We don't have to squeeze hard. We don't want to cramp our hands. We just want to make sure we do even strokes all the way from the back. See how that's going. We take a look at the profile. Wow. It's going to take some time, isn't it, ladies and gents? Let me grab this phone call for a minute. Excuse me. Okay, we're back. It wasn't an emergency. I didn't have to take that call. That's okay. We go about 25 or 30 strokes each side. Keep working it. A few more markings. Please like and subscribe us on YouTube and on Instagram if you don't mind, if you're not following us. That would be good. Okay. Keep going. You'll be glad to know, Terry, that we cannot see this crack that we had here. We have saved this fretboard. Almost gone. Fantastic. We're happy with that. Just do this end now. Let's have a break, catch up with the chat. Crisis averted. What is going on? Who's having a crisis? Tell me. What's the dealio? Thanks to our new followers. Wounded Monk for the follow. Maui Lynn with a gifted sub. Thank you very much, Lynn. Appreciate your help and your support as always. Sea Blizz is here as well with his 37 months and Maui Lynn with her 36 months. Happy birthday, 3 years. B Bumstead, obviously with 32 months. Doing great. Oh, yes, reach out and thank. If you do get a gifted sub, that's awfully nice. Christ of it, because I'm here with you guys. Rage! Excellent! How are you, my friend? Give that man a big shout out. We are doing a radiusing of fretboards. Camera's gone up. Camera's gone down. Fretboard is there. Getting radiused, radiied, radiced, radiced. Basically sanded. The worst part of building guitars. Terry, is it the worst part? We're starting to get a little bit of a radius. We've got a long way to go yet. This is way too slow for my liking. Let me tell you, just quietly, between friends. Those little brass rings are looking good though. I do like that. Dust is too good, I've got to save that. Let me save some dust. Rosewood. Good. Save as much as we can. It's a good thing. We use that for patching things. Okay, we've got some work to do at this end. That cut is absolutely gone, Terry. You cannot see it. You would be flabbergasted at the result. More dust. Collect more dust. You must collect more dust. You must collect more dust. Gap fillers. Perfect for inlays. perfect for everything else that needs to be filled to match rosewood. Pop that in there. Capture that goodness. Sir Diddy in the house. 5 minutes, Rage, you've got 10. Take your time, dude. Do not fret, do not stress. Okay, keep going. Mark out again. These markings help me keep it even and consistent, so I can see where I'm sanding away too much or not enough. Get some consistency. Excuse me. At least just to get it down to the right thickness, and then we can do some large passes to get the shape consistent, check it for straightness, etc. But we're good to go. Let's keep going. Dots are looking good. Everything's looking good. Whew. That thing is looking sexy. Sexy is the word. No, they're flush, Tom. The dots are really, really flush. You cannot even feel them. They're flush with the surface, so it's perfecto. You cannot even feel them. Okay, let's get the dust and let's check the radius by removing the neck, having a look and going down to 120 now. Catch this glorious, valuable gold. Wooden gold, splinter gold I call it. It's very valuable stuff. Little bits of dust. Magical hole fillers and gap filler. You cannot find a perfect match better than that sawdust from the same specimen of wood. Does that make sense, Terry? Let's have a look at this shape. And we've got to cut those slots again. Okay, that's radiusing quite well. Almost there, not quite the way I want it. But it's getting there. Oh yeah, a little bit more to go. We're going to stick with the 80. We're going to stick with the 80. For the time being, I need to take another mil or so off before I start going down. I need to cut those slots a little bit deeper now. Briggs! Excellent. Thank you, Briggs. Appreciate it. How are you? Welcome on in. Hello to you. Hope you're well. Just deepen these mothers so we don't lose them completely. Nice. I'm being gentle because I don't want to splinter the edge of this very brittle fret rosewood. So I'm just running that a few times, lightly, slowly, eating away some of that excess. Come on, man. Few to go. Okay, let's go. Round two. Clamp her up. Clamp her up, Jedi. end. Here. So, we're good to go. Round 2, let's go. Keep going with the 80. Mark it out again. Lots of lead. Let's get good coverage. Let's go. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking really good. Okay. Yep, it's looking really good. Keep going, a little bit more. All the good stuff. $20 on that side, 20 more on this side. We go down papers then. We change paper. Ten more. Okay, 120 grit. Start going down the grits now. We're going to try and refine that shape and polish these up. Grab this good stuff. What's the time doing? We've got plenty of time. We're doing good on time. Okay, cool. Catch the goodness. Grab some 120. Here we go. Scissors. Mark it up. $120, let's go. Homeward bound, Terry, homeward bound. Grab the good stuff. There's lots of good stuff at the other end. Down here. Lots of good stuff there. Getting a build up, nice build up of that powder. Rosewood dust. Whew. Okay. That's 120. What have we got next, Terry? 180. 180 and then 240. 180. Grit. And 400. So 180 is here. New roll of 180. This garnet paper is really, really good because it doesn't clog up. It's really, really good to just use, you know, the same piece for a long period. It doesn't clog up, it's really good. It spits, throws all the dust out. Clogging with paper is very wasteful, and, you know, it's very difficult to get good results when your paper clogs. Get that splinter out. Okay, let's cut a piece. 180. Okay, let's do the 180. Okay, let's go. 180. We'll make it light work of it, Terry. As you can see, that's unclogged. We can use that again. I save all these little pieces, and use them for little sanding jobs, or cut them out to size and staple them or stick them to the bottom of a wooden block. They make really good sanding blocks. Right. Terry, are you happy with the recycling of the paper? Are you into recycling the paper and making multiple use opportunities out of it? I bet you are. Change the angle. All right, 180, 240, 240 time. I'll just use some of this blue paper. Get the good stuff. Terry, do we want the good stuff? Woo! This Mechanic Games, what's going on? Thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Let's get to that 2,000 followers, guys and girls. Spread the word. We're trying to build this community as much as we can. Don't forget to follow us and subscribe on YouTube. We're also on there, where you can catch all the replays of the streams. There's over 100 videos on there. If you want to catch up on some really old videos, YouTube is the place to get all the old stuff. There it is, Terry, on top of things as usual. Such an efficient assistant. Queen moderator. Our mods are really good. Say hello to them. They're all good guys and girls. They have fun. They enjoy the show. They love being here. We love having them here. It's one big happy family. Terry, are we one big happy family or what? They're like my sisters from another mother and my brothers from another mother. Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love? I'm channeling some kind of gospel thing. I don't know what I'm doing, but anyway. Mods, Feral, there you go. That needs updating. It does indeed. Hit it. Terry, I'll leave it with you. Okay, let's go again. What do we got? 240. See how that clogs? That paper is a little bit different and it clogs a little bit. That's okay, we still get good results, but not as efficient. One more pass and then we're done for the sanding for the time being. Okay, let's check this out. Let's get all the good stuff, as we say, into that box. Let's check the surface and put a bit of colour on there, get a look at that grain and the finish. Check the radius. Might do some fine sanding to articulate correct any little deviations, but let's have a little look and see what we look like. Get the good stuff, as Terry would say. Get the good stuff! Manny, get the good stuff. We need to get the good stuff command. Terry? Dana, we need to get the good stuff command. It's important. Okay, we're looking really good. Let's check that out. We'll take a measure. That's a really nice fretboard. That's looking great. That radius is pretty much there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's get all the good stuff. As Terry would say, get the good stuff. This is liquid gold. Well, it's not really liquid, but it's debris gold, dusty gold, gold dust. Okay, and I'll tell you what we're going to do now. I'm going to move this camera, catch up with the chat. What are you all doing? Leslie is in that spectrum, hard. I'll show you that from close up. Wounded Monk, here it is here. There's our purple heart cap, carved. We've got to put the 4-degree pitch on that neck joint there. We've got mahogany under that, protecting the mahogany with some tape. We're going to go to the bench in a minute, and I'm going to show you guys what we've got on the neck here. Get some colours on there, get some inspect the radius, as they say. Inspect the radii. Put the camera back up here, where it's nice and high, and we can see things. So, I'm dropping things everywhere, that's okay. Let's flick over and see what that looks like. Whoops, let's reset that. Where are we? Let me reset that, guys. Bench cam. I want to deactivate, I want to activate. There we go. Right, we're back. So, let's have a look at this guy. So there's our cap. Here's our neck. You can see the radius. We've got the 12-inch radius there. Okay, we've got the 12-inch radius falling away like so. Just see that there. Very subtle, but that's good. We've got a little bit of sanding to do more. That's why I haven't done. But look at those dots. How good do those dots look? Look at that. Are they nice, Terry? Do you like those? They're as flush as anything. with a purple heart inside. Look at that grain. How good's that? Now let's have a look at that colour for Dana, because she's going to have kittens when she sees this. Let me tell you, she'll be popping them out like no tomorrow. Right. I'm going to put some colour on this guy. I'm just going to wipe it down, and I'm going to slot those guys again probably. But let's just clean this up with some spirits and see what it looks like. There's a little, where the crack was, you can see where that crack was. Can you see that crack, Terry? Just a little bit there. There's a little bit of pitting there. I've got to fill that in now. That's what I'm going to do now. But other than that, you cannot see it with that grain. You won't be able to see it. Once it's bound there, it'll be, we've saved that one. But look at how good the markers look. Do you like the markers? Hank juice. So good, so good. Absolutely. Let's wipe this down and have a look at the colorization. That's the technical term for it, colorization. Actually, I'm going to scrape this sawdust out of here. Clean those slots so it doesn't clam and get clammy with the spirits and junk up and kunk up in there. We want to clear those slots and make sure we're happy as Larry. Apparently Larry's a pretty happy guy. These are a bit shallow. We need to go and recut these eventually. Whoops, slipped, scratched. It's all right. We've still got some fine finishing to do. Just getting rid of most of that sawdust in there. Okay, let's give that a wipe down. Terry, Dana, are you ready for this? Dana's excited, I can tell. I'm going to grab some spirits. We're going to wash that down. Yeah, it's going to be maple binding. I've got some flame maple binding right here. I've cut some strips out of this guy. Yeah, we're going to use this flame maple here. It's subtle, but it's nice. It's nice. I'll show you what that looks like as well. I'm just making some binding strips and fusing them together and making a long piece for each side, like yay. Okay. So we glue them together, splice them together, and we're going to thickness those down and then bend them to shape before we glue them there. Let's have a look at this guy. All right. I want to see those markers and those purple heart dots up close and personal, if you know what I mean. In a truly plutonic way. There's the headstock. The colour of that. Isn't that pretty? Do you like that? Dana, are you having kittens yet? I would suspect there's a whole litter already there. All right, that looks pretty good. Look at that. The purple heart dots really set off. That 12 marker is really nice. Okay, there's our neck. That's a nice neck. That is a really nice neck. I like that neck. The back of this guy, Tasmanian blackwood, nice ribbon grain. You can see the ribbon. There's a little bit of flame there, just a little bit around the edges. You can see it there, just there. There's a little bit of flame. When that gets some poly, actually I'm going to true oil this, or not true oil, Danish oil the neck to a satin finish. But I'll tell you what, that colour is going to be awesome. When you look at that combination, it's beautiful. There we go. Some maple binding on the side of that. That's a nice neck. I'm really proud of that neck. I'm really pleased. And if you put the body down, like so, and get some colour on here, let's do that, shall we? Let's get some colour on there. You've got to whisper what you say. Oh, purple, be still. A couple of scratches in here. I've got to get those buff marks out, scratch marks out. Fine polishing still to go. Obviously the binding's got to go on, and we're going to cut that back and then polish this up properly. chip there I've got to fix. A couple of little things I've got to sort out. It's very brittle, this hard Purple Heart. It's very brittle and it has chipped in a couple of places, but we'll fix it. We'll patch it. You won't be able to see it once it's glossed over. Okay, so there's the colour of that guy. Pop these two together. Get a look at what it's going to look like when we're put it together. Okay, there you have it. It's starting to come together. It's a nice looking piece. Gold hardware. Okay, we like that. Do we like that? Is that a nice guitar? Is that a nice guitar? Okay, that's a nice guitar. I love. Look at the shine on those markers. It just pops in the light, don't they? They just flash. Little diamonds, little lights, beacons. You just dance that around. Look at that, dances around the fretboard. It's like it's lit up with LEDs, strobe lights. Ha! It's looking good already, Terry. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Right, so there's that. And there's this neck. Now I've got to check the thickness of this guy. So let's just do some measuring. Make sure we're on the right track. So, I'm going to have to check this neck here. It does need some fine sanding, but before we continue that, we may need some rougher scraping. So let's check the thicknesses here. First fret. It's a little bit on the thicker side. I'm going to take a little bit more off there, I think. What do we got there? 24. It's got to come down a little bit more. At the 5th, that's 24 as well. At the 9th, 10th, 11th, 10th is 24. So it's pretty consistent. We've got to scrape a little bit off there. We're going to do that right now. Right now. Let's pop this guy down. I want to protect the fretboard. So I'm going to put this rag down here because it does get scuffed and scarred. I'm going to pop this here on here like so. You can see that there. Clamp that baby down, Terry. Clamp that puppy down. Like so. I'm going to grab my scraper. I'm just going to take a little bit off there. Very lightly. Around the 24 mark, 23. This one needs work here. Okay, let's come down to 23. We've still got to take another mil off. That's 23. That's 23. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to radius this, continue radiusing for another millimeter at this end, and then we're going to be good. So we're going to leave that there. What I'm going to do now, though, is before I radius, because I need to resand this one more time, I'm going to now clog up those little pits. Can you see that crack? pretty invisible, except at this end where my finger is, there's a couple little holes, pits, that have sanded away. There must have been little air pockets in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill that in with a little bit more dust and glue, and then next time we come around, we're going to be able to sand that flush, and you're not going to see any marks at all. The rings are great. The little brass rings are really beautiful. I love the way that just flashes in the light. It's really dynamic. It comes to life. And that's only 240. Look how shiny that fretboard is with 240. Imagine this on 1200 grit. Terry, are we going to 12,000 with this fretboard eventually? I don't think we are, but you tell me. Okay, let's get this guy glued up. So this is where the dust comes in. Okay, the dust comes in. And I'm going to use a little bit of super glue, sprinkle some dust in there, push that in, fill up that little zone. Doesn't matter if the frets get filled up, we don't care. We want that just proud of the crack. Loosely raked over that. Leave some debris on there, that's fine. We're going to sand that flush, but we want to make sure there's no air pockets in there. Let's cover that up. I will save that. Let's get the super glue. The glue of super strength. Of course, it's all clogged up, isn't it, Terry? Terry, is it all clogged up? Let's unclog it. Usually just crack the tip, like so. There we go. And that should have some glue coming out. Yes, indeedy. Oops, and my finger's stuck on it now. There we go. A few drops there. Blend that in. Quickly wipe that off, the excess that is. Just dab it. There. Rub some powder on top just to seal that over, and that will sand flush. You can already see that gap's closed up. So when we sand that flush, you won't see that there's a pit or those holes there. That'll be the end of that. I'll just get rid of that dust. We've got plenty of dust. Put that glue away. 12K all the way. That's the super glue, not the Gorilla Glue. This is just normal super glue. It's just a cement. It dries really quickly. It's already touch dry. I could actually sand that now. But I won't. Okay, we're going to come back on Friday. Let's see who's on. I'm done for the day, ladies and gents. I've got to run off to soccer. Let's have a look here. Okay, that's all good. That's all good. See who's on. See if we can raid someone. Where is my Twitch? Where is my Twitch? Live, following. Who have we got? No one. Who's on? Johnny and Heidi are on. Let's know they're not on. Live. Who's on live? Let's have a look here. Is there anyone on live? Not me. There's no one live. Someone pick something. Someone pick something. Otherwise, we're not going to raid. Thank you, Mav. Good on you. No worries, B. Bumstead. You're welcome, my friend. Listen, guys, I'll be back on my Friday, which is your Thursday. It's Tuesday tomorrow, so it's only a couple of days away after that. So good to see you too, Marilyn. Aloha to you. Nicole Belafonte. Who the hell is Nicole Belafonte and what does she do, Mav? I don't want someone that just chats with a bikini. I could do that here. I could just put a bikini on and chat to myself in the mirror. I'll let it go. We'll do it next time. All right, guys and girls. Thanks for being here. Catch you next time. Thanks for your support too. Bye for now.